Check, check. Mic 2. Check, check. Mic 1.
had my earpiece out while we were transferring numbers. I don't know yet. Check back again. Steve's getting punched. Don't really like it. Alright.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our live stream. Our feature sheet today is Yale against Michigan Tech here on Sheet 4. My name is Steve Wood. I'll be with you through this draw. Brad is taking some time off, some well-earned time to rest his voice, but he'll be back later. We are just finishing up the pregame mop and coin flip, and we'll be getting started here shortly. Teams are chit-chatting and getting ready. Both these teams that are winless so far are in pool play, so somebody will emerge as a win on the national stage. Both these teams destined for the consolation prize that will follow in the draw at 4 o'clock p.m. today. So win or lose, both teams playing again at 4 for a chance to win towards the consolation bracket final. Okay, first stone's under the way. Got, Tyler Magnuson is the lead in this game for Michigan Tech. Looking to set up that center guard. Yale here we have Bryce Sovey throwing the lead stones today. So a little heavy on the draw around there, but it looks like Michigan Tech has no issue with that. We're just going to come around to the center here, try and line one under cover, and steal right out the gate. If you're new to curling, you know, traditionally one team has hammer, which is the last rock of an end, so the opposite team will throw the first rock. If you don't have hammer, you're generally trying to plug the middle and trying to either steal by scoring without hammer, or plug up the middle so that the other team can't score 2 or more. And if you have hammer, you're really looking to score 2 or more. Sometimes you'll even see a blank, in which case things aren't setting up the way you would like them to, and you'd rather score 0 and take the hammer into the next end and try again. We probably won't see too many blanks today. I think both these teams are playing pretty aggressively throughout the weekend, so we'll probably see a lot of draws. And hopefully a lot of scoring. So Bryce coming around here again. Better weight this time, and it looks like it's going to sit right in there in the back 4 foot. Haley Christensen, the second here on Michigan Tech. Looking to follow that same Yale line and end up the shot rock closer to the middle. Ice looks pretty keen already. Most of these draws are coming through a little heavy. Each team does get 9 minutes to practice before the game. One team will come out, throw how many practice shots they'd like. They'll swap. The other team will come out, throw their 9 minutes of practice shots both directions, and then they'll come out and play that game. So generally the ice does get warmed up pretty quickly with practice before a game, and sometimes those draw weights from that early practice might be a little bit too heavy when it comes to game time. So they'll settle in here pretty quickly. But looking to make this draw here, and it's just a little heavy again, so it's just going to chip that right into the back pile. He's trying to come around again. Again, that second draw usually is going to be a little bit closer to what you want, because you've seen the speed your first one. Muscle memory will help you get closer to the middle. Line looks great on this one. Just carried a little bit far. We are stacking up quite a few rocks in the back there. For the hammer team, that can sometimes be beneficial, if they're your rocks. Seems every shot this end is trying to play the come around on the left-hand side. Seems like it could be worth a try coming off from the other side on the right, since you have all these other rocks behind that you could run into and hopefully stick around. But we're going to stick with this turn. We're really going to wear out this path pretty quick. Probably going to speed up really fast, so every time we throw another draw, the ice degrades a little bit over time, and every time you throw another draw, it's just going to speed up a little bit more. And third for Michigan Tech here today is Joseph Charland. Joseph's from Duluth, Minnesota. That's a hotbed of curling right now. It's where many of our Olympic players or former Olympic players are from. It's a big time curling city. The third for Yale here, Gideon Heltzer. Again, just trying to come around. Seems like we're taking a little bit more ice now as the shots come down this line. We still have not honed in the draw weight though, so everything is just a little bit heavy and resistant to curl. The ice can behave a little bit weight sensitive, especially release sensitive too. So you throw it a little bit too heavy, and sometimes it won't curl nearly as much as you thought it would. It doesn't give enough time for that rock centripetal motion to overcome the velocity of the stone. So see what happens again. We've now played every single shot this end on the same line. Again, just speeding up. Clear of the guard here. If the weight's okay, they'll be alright, but if they hold this line too much, they'll go right through the hole. Probably could have come off of that one, let it curl a little bit more, caught the red, their own red, and stuck around. Yale's again taking that slightly wider path just to see if it could help take some speed off, maybe. Perhaps the line's a little bit better. The weight is definitely the problem for both teams this end. We just need to take it down a little. This is much better weight. Glad to see some Yale fans online. You know, we're trying to select a diversification of teams here on the broadcast, so that's why we elected to jump to sheet 4 here and get Yale into the broadcast. So the skip for Michigan Tech is Gracie Combe. Looks like Gracie was just going for the draw here, but the bump is also not a bad idea. Come with a little bit of weight, try to bump that shot rock back. Does make contact, but spins too far. So now Yale's lying 3 across the back. Generally not a safe 3, but 3 nonetheless, and out counting those other 2 Michigan Tech stones pretty easily. And fairly well protected, so they're not likely to go end up counting. I'd expect Yale's probably just going to play the same draw, come around to the center. Skip Timothy Lee. Probably looks pretty good so far. Yeah, I see. You can really see how much more this rock's going to curl when it has the right weight, and it's definitely curling quite nicely right to the top button there, right behind the cover, so that's a pretty nice shot. Already set up to force and make Michigan Tech try to score. Oh no, Yale is on the hammer, so they could set up for a really big end now. So Michigan Tech here really needs to dial one in there, safe and protected, or else they have a chance of giving up a big end here. This will be the first attempt at coming around to the right side. Probably going to see a bit of a different speed here on this line compared to the one we've been throwing. It's okay if it comes down to those yellow stones. That would be a pretty safe spot to really limit the damage. Curl a little bit. Yeah, that's a great spot. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yale could make an attempt to try and score more than 2, but pretty much a draw to the 4-foot here. Should be a pretty stock shot and score 2. They are looking at the little bump on the red in the back. So just a little bit more than draw away. Try to bump that red back and not touch the yellow. Jam it on the other yellow, and it should be further away and score 3 yellow. Yeah, being aggressive out of the hack here. Out of the gate. Weight than I think they wanted to throw. This is just going to hang outside. Probably, yeah. Well, it's stuck around, so they still are probably going to get there too. I think that's yellow is out counting that red probably. Waiting on confirmation. Well, they kicked it away. It's probably 2 yellow. Indeed 2 yellow. Okay, so Yale converts on their first attempt with the hammer. Michigan Tech, after the break here, will take hammer in the second end. Taking a look around the sheets, we have hop over to sheet 3. We've got University of Wisconsin-Madison facing off with Denver, University of Denver, and it looks like Wisconsin took 3 in the first end. We'll hop over to sheet 2 real quick. That's an undefeated matchup. 2 2-0 teams in the same pool, playing for the right to earn the top seed to the championship bracket. We got Castleton University and University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, and Castleton took 1 in the first. Sheet 1. Looking over and seeing MIT playing against, my eyesight deceives me, Penn State, I believe, and it looks like Penn State is ahead 1-0. Coming back to the feature sheet. Center guard. It didn't fall into the house. Not the end of the world. Michigan Tech trying to ignore it, set up some offense, and throw up a corner guard. Really nice spot, looks like. Yeah, looking to come around their own yellow. Be pretty aggressive. Line looks really good, and the weight is really nice. It's a great shot. formation with the stone, now sweeping to hold the line, just to get it by that guard. Oh, really nice weight, and great sweep to hold it in. Just going to slide a little far, but it's a counter nonetheless, partially recovered. Brad Johnson tuning in from a remote location saying sheets 1 and 3 are winning in games. For those following the mainstream and want context. Yale with a little bit heavy guard here, so again just trickles on the 12-foot. So likely that Gracie's going to want to take care of those right now and open up the center for herself. Peel, looking to get rid of both yellows and probably roll the red off or to a corner guard position. This peel is over curling a little bit. But if they catch it thin enough, alright, they can get one of them out of there. And now they've double guarded their own rock in the house. They've exposed the shot stone, which will help them in the long run. Looks like we've got a technical timeout on sheet 4. They're missing a stone. They only have 4 at the far end, it appears, so they're somehow missing a stone. It's traveled off to the other sheet. Ends up way over on sheet 3 somehow. Waiting for the officials to sort it all out. Sorted out here on sheet 4. Just happened to lose a rock off to another sheet during the end change, and that happens every now and then, especially when we don't have divider boards between adjacent sheets. Okay, so we have ended up with a corner guard. Definitely overcurled from where they wanted that rock to be. Another foot closer to the center line, and a much better situation for the steel. Takeout, but instead we're going to hit this corner guard that was just thrown. Change the color. so sure the ice behaved the way that Gracie intended that shot to go. So. Well, with still that partial center guard, Yale's looking to probably come around or tap up their own at the top 12. Weight is nice for a guard, so I'm going to throw the 3-yard here. Try to plug that middle again. Take away that hit that appeared to be there the first time. Okay. And revert back to the peel of the center guard. So again, throwing this was a decent amount of weight. Looking to hit that top one on the right-hand side as I look at it, with the left-hand side from the shooter's spot. Peel off both yellows. Instead, this has been set in a little bit and over-curled, and instead it'll peel their own red, which is just as good. Exposing that shot stone again and keeping that middle open as we get closer to Skip Rocks. I imagine Timothy's called another guard. So it's a bit out there. Needs to curl. Trying to push it now, John Wood the 7th. That's a pretty nice card. Throws into the other one. Christmas tree. Now you really took time getting all 3 of those. But because that shot stone's exposed, Bryce has a chance here to come around. Sorry, Joseph probably. Line looks really good. It was a nice shot. And just lost it at the end there. But again, it is exposed more than it already was. So effectively, job is done. Probably a little bit higher than the others would be ideal. Just waiting on it to curl, trying to push it now. There we go. It's probably going to finish right close to the other ones. Quite a stack there in the center. Gracie seeing that shot rock still exposed. Committed to going around and trying to hit it as far inside as you can and roll under. Definitely a tough shot. A lot of room to roll under. Oh, just took the guard. Just missed it. Just missed it. Good attempt there. Well, Yale definitely needs a guard. One that would be blocking the shot rock, so on the opposite side of the sheet from all the other guards. Yeah, ideal. Goal there would be making it much more difficult for Michigan Tech to score. They'd have to probably come around with a draw through a tight port between the red and yellow guards. This guard attempt here is definitely heavier than his previous attempt. It is curling nicely, and it might end up freezing the shot rock in the end. Not quite. It is another counter, though. There is a double here. A double for one, if she can stick it. Checking the chat here. Why does Wisconsin have hammer after scoring against Denver? Well, let me look. It appears that Denver must have scored in the second end. We're on to the third. We're about to hang the score. We're still waiting. Alright, so they've hung 3 for Wisconsin. So Wisconsin's now up 7-0. Denver did not score. Big double attempt here on our sheet. It's just a hair out, I think. It's going to spill away. It's going to leave one yellow. So a steal for Yale. All the hard work with all the guards pays off. They're now going to go up 3-0. I'll just give you a quick score update on sheet 2. That's the undefeated teams, Castleton versus Stevens Point. It is now evened up. Stevens Point scored 1 in the second end, so now it's tied 1-1. Way over on sheet 1, MIT and Penn State. Appears MIT scored 3 in the second, so now they're up 3-1. So we delivering the first stone of the third end here for Yale. Looking for that center guard again. Again, when you're scoring and the steal is on, the game is pretty simple. Throw up a couple of center guards, come around, and make it very difficult for the other team to score. This one has gone a little deep. It's in the 4-foot. Not the end of the world. That's okay. There's another strategy there where you can throw in first if the other team is committed to throwing their corner guards, which it appears Michigan Tech is. Michigan Tech really would love to set up a deuce here. Throw up a corner guard, give themselves some protection, come around. They can deal with the yellow in the 4-foot eventually. It doesn't need to be addressed right now. On the corner guard, but yeah, it's just gonna bite the 12-foot there, so it is hittable. We do have a 5-rock rule in curling. first 5 rocks of the stone can't. If they're thrown as guards, it means they're not touching the paint. Then they cannot be removed from play until the 6th stone. So a really nice hit there. That's sometimes a tough line for curlers to throw those types of hits, those inside outs. But made that pretty nicely. The ice might be speeding up a little bit. These draws are starting to run a little bit straighter, go a little bit further, but it is still biting in the back. Yale looking to go aggressive, play in, but down the center. We got John Wood the 7th, second for the team today. Just a little bit heavy, slides through the house. So Haley's going to have a hit and roll here. Michigan Tech, not sticking to the corner guards that they wanted when they came out this end, but still very much in a controllable situation. Going to hit and roll to the middle. Some teams might prefer to hit and stick or hit and roll the outside just to keep their 2 rocks in the house separated from each other. Makes it harder to take out with a single stone. Fortunately, this one just slides right by. Just a bit of too much curl there. Yale going back to the well, trying to throw another one in this house. Sit right in the middle of the 12-foot. Short on this call, but it's a center guard nonetheless, and that's actually a great spot for it to be, considering they don't have hammer. The attempt to block the middle is on. But Michigan Tech does have the chance to hit and roll under cover now. Just not quite curling, I think, as much as I thought. There it goes. And it ends up being beautiful. It's an excellent shot from Haley Christensen there. Now Yale's kind of forced. They have to come around their guard and freeze to the red. Probably can't out-count it with this stone, not necessarily needing to. But they can stick their own yellow in there, shrink the scoring area, and then come back and actually hit it later and knock that red out. Gideon's draw attempt is curling. It's quite nice. It might be a hair short. It's a little bit short, top 8. Not quite what they wanted, but it is outcounting the one in the back. It is somewhat down the center. It's not something that Michigan Tech is likely going to chase at this point. But it does effectively do the job of shrinking the rings. So now we're on to Joseph Charlin's shot. He's looking to draw around here. Gracie being very patient, letting the ice do its job and not directing the sweepers to touch it yet. I think they're concerned it's a hair heavy. It does tap their own up. It is now lying first and third. Of course, the first rock is exposed. So Yale needing to deal with this business. Coming right after this. Gideon's shot looks pretty good. Makes the hit, dead nose. So very much still open, but again, Yale lying 1 and 2. Michigan Tech, if they need to score, is going to have to deal with it at some point. It is possible if you just hit it dead on nose and not roll at all, you will be shot. This rock looks a little tight out of hand. We're sweeping to hold the line. We're on the guard, the very high guard. We're just going to run this yellow straight up into the other. Okay, well, Yale's now effectively only lying 1. And the center is a little bit more exposed. The guard's still there, but not having that extra rock in the 4 foot or top of the 8 foot is making it a little bit more accessible to the center. Lying second shot still for Michigan Tech. There's a real chance they can score 2 still. People on the live chat stream today. Thanks for joining this afternoon. This is our last round of pool play at the College National Championship 2026. After this, teams will be seeded and separated into a championship bracket and a consolation bracket. Top 8 make the championship. Tim Lee with a come-around attempt here. To just be a guard. Just maybe over curling a little bit, still exposed. Gracie says, I'm going to ignore that rock right now, and we're going to play a hit and roll off the outside. Interesting. So no draw down the center. Looks like we're going to curl outwards, hit the yellow on the outside, and roll back into the center. Lots of options here. I think it's personal preference, trying to decide what you think you can throw and what you feel most comfortable with. That's most certainly a hit. It looks pretty close. There might be a double here. It's a great roll. Not lying shot, but it is undercover. It's a good way from Gracie there. It's hard to throw those big weight takeouts, especially kind of a cross-house double. I mean, we're going from the top 12 foot to the left side of the 4 foot. That's a lot of roll. You need to hit pretty, and they weren't very steep, meaning they weren't offset depth-wise very much. So you need to hit a lot of the rock and then roll a lot, which requires a lot of weight. rock is delivering. I think they talked about just throwing a guard here. That's a great guard. Oh, it's just finishing just a little bit. It actually ended up over-curling more than they wanted there in the last 1.5 feet. So I think the yellow shot rock is actually still exposed. There is a chance they could pick it out, throw that high weight again, just try to clip that yellow stone, kick it through the house, and not jam on the back red. I think if they throw that type of pick shot, it probably doesn't jam. Of course, they lose the shooter, but if it doesn't jam, they would lie red 1 and 2 and take 2 in the end. Looks like she's going to play the pick. I'm sure she would love the opportunity to stick the shooter too in lie 3, but mission number 1 here. We got to get that yellow out of there. This is the hammerstone. Out there. It's just not going to curl to where they wanted it to be, so unfortunately that is going to be another steal of 1 for Yale. So Yale takes a 4-0 lead after 3. We can do a quick hop around the scoreboard. Sheet 3 after 3 ends. It is 10-0 for University of Wisconsin-Madison over Denver. Hop over to sheet 2. This is our 2 undefeated teams, Castleton and Wisconsin-Stevens Point. Castleton scoring another single in the 3rd end, so they're up 2-1. And if we hop all the way over to sheet 1, sheet 1 is MIT and Penn State, and it looks like Penn State is up 4-3 after 3 ends. So, after 3 ends, the game is still well in hand. 4-0 lead is can get comfortable, but there's still very much opportunity to come back from a 4-0 lead. Still have 5 ends, lots of game left to play. Had a nice conversation with our coach here in the end to break for Michigan Tech. Reset the mind, reset the focus, and be aggressive, come out here and try and score. Bryce coming out here, making his signature center guard. This looks perfect. Perhaps overswept. Getting it really, really tight without trying to go in. That is technically a free guard. That's not touching the rings, which means you cannot be removed from play for the first 5 rocks. We also play the no-tick rule. We are playing normal world crawling for Federation rules, so there is a 5-rock free guard zone. And there is also the no-tick rule, which means any center guards that are touching the center line in the first 5 rocks cannot be moved off of the center line until that 6th stone is delivered. Michigan Tech going with a curling corner guard again. Looks pretty good. Covering the corner of that 4 foot. Bryce says it's a little hot here. Don't sweep it for weight. It is a little bit hot indeed. It's going to coast on through the house here. You know, not what he wanted. What a skip would want from their team is when they know it's heavy, to let them know right away so that they're not trying to call it for line, and the sweeper or the shooter can communicate that right away. That information is very valuable for the skip. Rock over curls. Gonna separate those two stones. Still with the corner guard, always good, especially when they're trying to score. John Wood the 7th. Rock has been delivered. Looks like he's playing the come around, trying to stay under these staggered guards. They do need to be careful not to watch it too long. It is going to start going. The weight was pretty close. Probably sat on it too long. It's going to end up as a guard. But again, you're up 4-0. You don't have the hammer. Plug the middle. Make it very difficult on Michigan Tech. Christensen throwing a draw around everything. Now we are getting quite a bit of curl this weekend, which is awesome. The speed's been great. 4.5, 5 feet curl sometimes. This one, not so much. Weight's just a little bit heavy. Looks like it's just going to come through without any assistance. We are about halfway through the game, so the ice is pretty up to speed, and it's gotten quite quick compared to what they practiced on. So I see a lot of TOS teams needing to adjust their draw weight. Yale was really, I think, hoping to come around again, but they're totally fine throwing up another center guard also. Really making life difficult here for Michigan Tech. Still nothing in the rings though. Another draw attempt. They're not touching it. They must think it's just a little bit heavy. Let the speed come off. Let the rotation take over. Let's see if it curls pretty nicely. It's pretty good. You could have hammered it here and had it curl finish a little bit more, but it is going to lie mostly buried, but it is behind the tee line, so Yale can come right down to it. But a great weight. Well, Yale looking to repeat. Come right around, sit on top of that red rock. I think they are also feeling in the same department. It was a little bit heavy, but now they're trying to get it to curl. The weight looks pretty close. It just needs to finish. Tim really working the stone over. That's a great carve there at the end. Well, from my perspective, I can't really tell which one shot, but it might be the Yellowstone. Really great carve there at the end by Tim Lee. Trying to get that rock to curl just a little bit extra at the end. Charlin was looking to come around, but this rock has gotten out of control and really taken off. And I think the rock might reverse. It's like lost handle. Okay. Sometimes those rocks can be uncontrollable once the rotation is lost. Sometimes the pebble might kick the rock in the other rotation and it starts going back the other way. Anyone who's been curling and recreational curling has certainly seen a rock snake down the ice one way or the other or both. It's always a fun shot, though never usually the one you planned for. Looks like Gideon's trying to make that draw around again, but he identified that rock as being a bit heavy. It's heavy is sure, but it's a pretty good weight in the end. It's not what they wanted, but it wasn't through. Still line bike back forward. Joe looking to make a really nice draw here. Working that hold, trying to hold the curl. Hopefully it doesn't curl too much and clip these guards. It's very close. Looks like it's just gonna touch it. And it does effectively tap in another of those yellow center guards just to bite the 12 foot. Probably won't count for much in this end, but it is something to take note of. Well, I think Yale's going to be content to throw up a guard here. Plug that hole so that Michigan Tech can't come down and hit that yellow shot rock and stick there. A lot of the time when you're learning curling, a lot of people will tell you that as a skip, if you're throwing guards, you're doing the right thing and your team's making their shots. And I would say that that's what's happening here. Of course, this rock is going to be a hog rock. This is not going to make the near side hog line, which means it's no good. It needs to be removed. It takes a lot of skill to throw a rock that light. We've all done that. Pulled back a little bit too hard and left it short. That's okay. So Gracie is looking to take a different approach here with her first. It looks like she's probably playing the promotion of the center redstone. Trying to tap that red guard up to the pin or into the yellow rock, either or. I think what the thought process is here is that they can run another red into the middle. Perhaps keep that second, the other red that's currently in the middle, around close enough to maybe get it to score. If they can move that yellow out of the way first. This rock is definitely going to curl. It's a matter of, does it curl enough? It is really curling, and it's just not quite enough curl. It just sends the rock through to the back to back. Pretty good, close attempt. Just needed to curl a hair more. And it actually would have had the weight to jiggle everything around in the 4 foot there. But they did open up the left side of the sheet too. So there is a draw to the pin. Just throw up another guard. Right, block Grace's attempt at the open half of the button. Looks like it curled a little bit too much, so there's still a line there. Gracie's going to play that open draw and just try to beat the shot rock. I made the call earlier. I think the yellow is closer, but without seeing a top down directly, it's really tough to tell. It's probably a measure, unless you're on the ice and looking at it from a very close angle, but it'd be nice to know that you've got this rock to be shot, and the other one is for 2. Rock looks really good. Based on the last rock, it should curl quite a bit. This is just following a slightly different path. And it wrecked on the guard. Well, now we'll know. The vices will look at these 2 stones, decide which one may or may not be closer. Maybe they'll measure, who knows? Oh, they kicked it away. Yellow, I think. He kicked the rock in, which generally means that that rock is closer. So we've arrived at the mid-game break. This is after 4 ends. We're eagerly awaiting the hanging of a score, and it was 1 yellow, so it is 5-0 Yale after 4 ends. So all the other games are also at their mid-game break. We'll pop back over to these other sheets and take a look at the scoreboards. But Wisconsin-Madison, they're actually making a substitution here at the mid-game break, and Wisconsin-Madison's up 10-1. Denver scored 1 in the 4th end. Hopping over to sheet 2, Castleton and Stevens Point. Pretty hard to see the scoreboard with everybody standing there, but it does look like Stevens Point scored 2 in the 4th end, so that game is now 4-3 Stevens Point over Castleton. Sheet 1, also at the mid-game break, it appears that Penn State is up 4-3. They did play the 4th end, but I don't see the 4 up there, which means it's probably a blank. Oh, unless I look at it from the other point of view. Okay, it looks like Penn State scored 2 in the 4th end, so now it's 6-3 Penn State. So we'll take a break here, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. 3.5 minutes, and we'll get started with the second half of this game. Mike still with hammer. So Yale throwing that center once more. Gets that center guard quite nice, getting pretty good at that. They are checking to confirm if this is on the center. It is on the center line, so the rock can't be moved off yet. It's always good to confirm with the other skill just to make sure they're seeing what you're seeing. Interesting part about curling clubs and arena ice is that all the lines and houses are all a little bit different. Sometimes there's a pretty decorative center line. Here we have a triple line, and generally the entire line. So all three strings are considered the center line. It's a wide center line. Sometimes you just have a single center line, so it is a little bit thin. Got it by. Great sweep. Bites. No, just shy of biting the 8 foot. Stuck on the center line, but as I mentioned before, that started on the center line, and it no longer is on the center line because the sixth rock has not been thrown. They have the option to reset that, so Yale exercises that opportunity to put that center line guard back. It is up to the unoffended team, or the offended team, the team that did not move that guard. So Yale chose to put it back. We got Tim a ton of weight on that broom, trying to carve that over, touch that center line again. So we are on the 6th stone now, so the center guard rule is no longer a thing. 5 rock rule is over. And so Gracie says, let's get these things out of here. Load up. Get some of these yellows out of here. Yellow Christensen lining it up. Shot. Joe's really working the stone, trying to hold it. It's just moving. Moving hard on him. They just change out their own stone. Yale quick to decide. He can barely see the guy, but he's way over there. Tim's handing on the edge of the sheet. There is a rule there where you have to have 1 foot in play. On the edge of the sheet, but you gotta have 1 foot in play in order to be considered on the sheet. Sometimes if you need to go out that wide, sometimes you start moving closer up the sheet a little bit. So instead of calling it typically on the tee line, you'd call it somewhere up closer to the top of the house to increase the angle from the hack. Don't see that very often. Sometimes you just got too much girl. Tracy's saying we need to open this up. We're gonna blow up this yellow guard wall they've created. Looks like it's a little inside. It's actually on the red guard again. This is gonna change some stuff. It does kick the center guard over a little bit, so now there's a set of staggered guards. Chip off the guard. Adds another one to the defense. Alright, another peel attempt. This one coming from Joe this time. Chipped the other guard and rolled into the house. Undercover. Well, that's not how they drew it up. It did move the yellow guards off of the center line, so they do have their own color in the middle. It's good, you can raise that, you can tap that. Swap directions, come around the other side. The left-handed intern. Stone really curling off the ball. Touch this red guard. Up short. Feels like we've played the opposite, the non-wall side of the sheet quite a bit more than the wall side, and perhaps some of the team's players just not recognizing that it's not nearly as fast on that side. Joe looking to make a better shot and come around that wall side. Yale's line 2, but they're not very tight area, so there's still a wide scoring area for Michigan Tech here. They've wrecked on their guard, spun off to a corner guard position. Got quite a few guards in play. This makes it really tough on the sweepers. Whatever shot's called, if they have to cross over those rocks, it is a skill. Required skill to be able to sweep and dodge rocks at the same time. mess with this setup. Force Michigan Tech to find a way in. At this point, Yale says we're lying too. There's a lot of guards in play. If you can find a way to score it. There's certainly options though here. That's not totally guaranteed. Got a double tap. We've got a run on the center guard, which I think is what Gary selected to play. Run the red guard on the center line, right into the yellow on the top of the goal. Looks like we had a question from Michelle. I don't know if this was just now or earlier, but I believe you were talking about the center line guard that was ticked off the line just slightly. They did end up elect to put the yellow guard back and then move that red. They did remove it. You know, they could have left it as is. They both ended up still on the center line, or well, adjacent to the center line, and it actually would have done an effective job of adding another rock to the mess. So it probably would have worked out in Yale's benefit. They elected to remove that red. Probably the only attempt at scoring Michigan Tech is a draw here. Really trying to figure out the best draw path. You don't need to be in the 4-foot. You just have to be a full 8-foot. There is a line, maybe an intern coming from the center line towards the wall, through the hole behind the yellow they just threw. You also could go out way wide on the same intern on the opposite side of the sheet and just try to catch the 8-foot on the left. Here you see a great employ of the curl is much too great based on the line we're trying to throw, so the broom has been moved way up the side of the board to increase the angle for the shooter. And again, a great employ of the must have 1 foot on the sheet. I've seen a lot of that this weekend. I think normally in club curling we don't see this very often. Appeared to be on the broom. It's a tough broom to hit that far up. Gotta get way wide out of the hack. Just a little bit heavy. That's just going to slide on through, and that's 2 more for you. So that's now a 7-0 lead here for Yale in this final round of pool play in the 2026 College National Championship. Quick look around the sheets. Wisconsin-Madison handling business on sheet 3. Current score is 14-1 in the 6th end. On sheet 1, it's a win and play-in game. It's MIT and Penn State. It looks like Penn State's starting to take control. It's now 7-3. Penn State in the 6th end. And then in our battle of the undefeateds, 2-0 teams in pool play, looking to grab the #1 seed in their pool. It appears that Castleton scored 3 in the 5th, so they are actually up 5-3 now, coming home in the 6th. So as it stands now, it looks like Penn State and Madison, Wisconsin would move on into the championship bracket, which would mean Denver and MIT would fall to the consolation bracket. Both teams on sheet 2 with the Castleton Stevens Point game. Both teams are going to finish 1-2 in the pool, so they're both headed for the championship bracket. But again, one will be the #1 seed in the pool, and one will be the 2nd seed in the pool. So because of the format, college curling, these teams travel a great distance and making sure that they get all their money's worth, flights, hotels, food, all that. We want to make sure that they get enough games, so everything is a 4-game guarantee. They play 3 games of pool play, four pools of 3, or 4 pools of 4. So 3 games there, and then everyone will have at least a quarterfinal game this afternoon or this evening. Our consolation bracket broadcast at 4 p.m. Those are all the consolation quarterfinals. And then our championship bracket quarterfinals will actually be televised at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. Winners of all those games will end up playing again tomorrow in their respective semifinals. And great benefit of the scoring style here is that if they make the Sunday semifinal, they will play 2 games no matter what, because we have to decide 3rd place in both brackets. So the winners will play for 1st and 2nd in their bracket, and the losers will play for 3rd place. So back on our feature sheet, we had a centerline guard thrown nicely by Bryce again, and unfortunately Michigan Tech ticked that off the center line, so Yale chose to put that centerline guard back. Now Bryce is looking to do the same thing again. So it's a little heavier, it's probably in the house. Really nice draw right to the top of the 4-foot. Almost perfectly buried. Really nice follow there by Michigan Tech to come down. Not quite frozen, but at least it's buried on that center line. Need to play aggressive. Got to score points, right? I'll recognize on the scoreboard now, so need to find a way to score. Guard roll, they can't mess with those 2 guards yet. Can't take them out to peel them open. So. Gonna draw around, freeze. Line looks really good. The way is nice. good setup shot. 2 in the front. Could be removed, but also gives you a way to attempt to remove that yellow and keep those 2 stones as scoring. Really working this one because it looks light. I'm not sure that it's over. They're trying to work the line now. It's just over. Call that a 1 guard, very high guard. Really plug in the middle here. But again, with those 2 reds, Gracie still has great options. Even with those 3 centers. Shot from Yale is just not quite curling the way they thought it would. It did catch it and pop that yellow out. So it's off the middle. Definitely exposed now. Red now, line 1. That's Michigan Tech. We do have handshakes over here on G3. That's when Wisconsin-Madison has won that game. It appears the final score was 14-2. So Wisconsin-Madison moving on to the championship bracket. That is the 2-time defending national champions. So they've made it through, despite a loss, and hopefully they'll play to defend the title again. Back on the feature sheet, Yale's looking to draw. They've got plenty of guards now. They're on track for their own stone. And they've hit it with enough weight that it's getting swept hard by Gracie to get that out of there. So now Michigan Tech in real control here, even with 3 center guards. Flying shot. Chance to eliminate this stone, roll under, lie 3, at least half buried. This rock's really curling on them. It's now going to somehow hit their own red. Okay. No change in the positions of the rocks, other than the one is no longer on the center line. But they do have an opportunity to run that red right into the yellow and still lie 3, so that's not what they drew up, but it's okay. Yale's decided not to draw. We're going to play down and try to take out this shot stone. This will leave them lying 2. Appears to be on track as long as it gets by this guard. And there it is. Shot. Yale now lying 2. Really nice down-weight takeout. It's been a really good weekend so far. We've had a good amount of curl, really nice speed, lots of compliments from the team on the ice crew. And the speed of the ice, allowing you to really manipulate some shots and do really what you want to do and make shots that are a little trickier. Got a pretty nice ice crew here this weekend. We've got Greg Eisenhower from the USA Curling and Peter Della Pella. They're ice makers at other clubs. And we've got our own ice crew here and a number of volunteers. Our club in Schenectady here is 100% volunteer run. So everything runs on the backs of volunteers, including the kitchen, the front door, security, ice crew. Wouldn't be able to do anything we were doing without the help of the volunteers, so I thank them for that. So Michigan Tech was able to make the hit and roll. They're not flying shot, but that's okay. They do still have 2 counters. Yale electing not to eliminate one of the Reds. Instead, they are going to just play the draw. Would allow them to be lying 1 and 2 again. Probably a personal preference here on approach. They drew around and lie shot buried. That's tough for Michigan Tech to deal with. You can also eliminate one of the red stones, probably the open one. And then again, would still be Michigan Tech to have to deal with at least one of the yellows in order to score more than one. Really trying to sweep this one hard. They'd like this to be in because the center guard doesn't really help them. Okay, so a little bit short, unfortunately. So Michigan Tech, instead of playing the run here, they're going to play the draw for 1, get their 1, be shot rock, make Yale try something difficult, maybe a run back or a tap promote. And then if they miss, Michigan Tech would have the easy tap, run back, to lie 4. So 4 is still in play here. Definitely going to curl based on what we saw earlier. It's just a matter of it can get here. Need to get this in. It's decided to go sideways on them. That's unfortunate. The weight was a little tough, maybe a hair short, and then the rock decided to go take a left-hand turn into the center guard. So now Yale decided what to do. They're already lying 1. Obviously know it's not super secure. They could just draw around. It appears that they're going to make the safer choice and play a little bit conservative here and eliminate this red stone here out on the wing. And either stick it nose or roll under the center. The roll is probably less important than anything, because if they can eliminate this stone, they've effectively eliminated Michigan Tech to scoring 2 or less. So this hits out the hand, heading down the sheet, trying to push it over. Needed to curl some more. It does look like it's going to eliminate the stone, and that's all they needed it to do. So it's still yellow 1. but by sticking around, it's made Michigan Tech's life a little bit more difficult because now they must eliminate the shot rock and roll the shooter just a little in order to lie second count. Gracie's lined up the run back. Definitely wants to hit inside a nose, just to make sure that the shooter rolls in so they lie two. Away, but it again is just curling quite a bit. Just not enough room taken, I think. And just misses everything, so Yale's going to take one more here in the sixth end. That would be 8-0 Yale. And we have handshakes. So Michigan Tech has conceded the game to Yale. So Yale will finish the pool 1-2. Michigan Tech finishes 0-3. Both teams still alive though, because we're going to a consolation bracket of 8 teams. So the 8 teams who didn't make the championship final will make the consolation quarterfinals. And each team will play again at 4 p.m. today. The matchups are still to be determined, but they'll be released soon as the games finish. There are still some spots up for grabs because Sheet 1 is still going. And so once all that's determined, we figure out the seeding, and we'll be posting that online. And it'll be updated on USA Curling's website. So we're going to hop over to Sheet 1 because that's a win and you're in game. I'm seated between sheets 3 and 4, so this is a bit tough for me to see everything that's going on over there, but I'll try my best. So Penn State's up 7-3. We are in the 7th. Not entirely sure what happened to the 6th. The placard has disappeared. Guess that Penn State probably scored because they're throwing their second stone. Oh yes, Penn State scored 2 more in the 6th end, so it's now 9-3 Penn State over MIT. So Penn State firmly in the driver's seat here to secure that win and get them into the championship bracket later this evening. These championship games will be played at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Winners of the quarterfinals at 4 in the consolation bracket and the winners in the championship bracket at 7:30 will play again in the semifinals at 8:30 a.m. on Sunday, tomorrow morning. All games after this draw are win or go home. Appears that Penn State's still line 1 in the back 8 there. again. Really a nice draw right to the forefoot. That's pretty nice. MIT's come around attempt. Taps up their own existing shot, and there'll be a second shot, but they are buried over there on the right hand side, so. Starting the magic to set up an end to score. Okay, and we're back over here looking at this MIT Penn State game. Penn State still lying 1, MIT lying 2nd. This is the first Vice Rock for Penn State. Just a guard. Blocking the promote. jump over to sheet 2 real quick because we've got an interesting situation developing in this battle of the undefeateds. So this is Castleton is red and Stevens Point, Wisconsin is yellow. Wisconsin Stevens Point is up 1, 6-5 after scoring 3 in the 6th end. But we've got Castleton lying 3 red. Potentially 4, but I think it's 3. Castleton trying to draw in another one. It's going to outcount the one on the back, so now they're 4. We are so that was the Skip's first rock for Castleton, and Castleton obviously with hammer because they did not score in the 6th end. So this is going to be Stevens Point's last skip stone in the end, which really becomes a decision to either bury or damage control and eliminate some reds. This could be the game on this this line here. Not sure what the timing situation is on sheet 2, but they're certainly taking their time. They're certainly taking a lot of time over there. really thinking this through. Obviously, it's the last shot of the 7th end, and it is a big deal when the other team lying 4. Get a time check for you. Well, they are taking their time because they've got plenty of time. They do have to play an 8th end, but they both had over 7 minutes still of time, so really thinking this one through. It's important. Delivery's under the way. Big weight, looking like a damage control shot here. Big blast. He's got the double. It almost stuck around now, count that top of 12 foot, but it's still Castleton lying 2, I believe. So Remy Maynard will take his hammer shot and just try to draw for 3. Shots out of the hand. Really on this broom. Really working this stone. They need this one. This is a free point on the board here. If you're already lying 2, you really want that 3rd one. Seems like the line is pretty good. The weight looks like it's going to be good enough. And that's probably 3 red there, so Castleton would take a 2-shot lead. Waiting on confirmation.
Yeah, no, I smelled it when I walked in.
Just waiting on the umpire to hang the score. was 3 red, so they now take a 2-shot lead, 8-6, into the final end. Big swing there. A lot of threes in this game. If you're curious, the other game on sheet 1 with MIT Penn State still going. It does appear that Penn State's lying at least a couple. We do have handshakes on sheet 1, so MIT has conceded the game, and Penn State will move on to the championship bracket out of Pool A. And MIT will now move to the consolation bracket, playing again at 4 p.m. Penn State 7:30 p.m. Both these teams we're watching here are already into the championship bracket. That's the top 2 teams in Pool D. They're both undefeated, 2-0, so this game does decide who's the first and who's the second in the pool. Castleton played in with her first. Stevens Point tried to freeze, didn't quite make the freeze. Castleton now drawn to the wing. Nice draw weight there. Point. So I'm gonna leave this as a corner guard. Probably just a little bit higher than they were hoping. Castleton just looking to throw up another guard. It's pretty nice. Controls the middle. Without a hammer, you want to plug that middle anyway. Especially with a 2-point lead. Point looking to hit the one that's exposed. Try to roll under cover now that there's a couple guards on the way. Instead, they've peeled their own guard. However, this may stick around. Nope, it's been put out of play. Nope, still in play, but very far off to the side. Castleton just looking to draw. Looks like they're drawing around. If they could bury this, that would be a tough one to get rid of. That's pretty nice. It controls the center in the house. Gonna have to deal with that at some point. Not a very easy double. I think Stevens Point has elected that they need to open up this middle. Perhaps a run back double. Try and eliminate a red stone, move that guard out of the way, get some options. Need to score 2 to tie. If we do tie, we go to an extra end. This rock is just drifting on him. And they peeled the guard. That's okay. Got it out of the way. Castleton wasting no time either, putting that guard back, tap it up, put something else in the way for the Stevens Point pointers to deal with. Looks like it's a bit of a deep guard. Now it's in the house, right into the pocket formed by the other two reds. That's an interesting position. I think if you hit the middle one, it's going to spin. Probably through. I don't know that it's stuck. Definitely lots of weight coming out of the hack here. Okay, and just pop the middle one through. Leave the shooter. Castleton still lying at least 2. Okay. Castleton's decided to just draw into the pile. Maybe freeze on top of that yellow that was just thrown. Again, making more rocks in the house makes Stevens Point have to deal with them and move them in order to score 2. More that are in the way, that's harder to do. This is just a little bit heavier than I think they wanted. It's gonna bump. But that's effectively the shot. Get some separation there too, so now Castleton can think about potentially trying to eliminate that yellow, pick it out of the pile. Well, it was a double. I don't know that it was exactly the way they drew it up. But it did eliminate 2 reds, and they left the shooter there, which means they are allowing second shot. So, they've done the job of eliminating some stones, creating some space. There's maybe a way to score 2 now. Castleton's just going to play another draw into the house. He's had good draw weight all weekend, so we'll see if he can make another one here. Looks like the weight's good, just really working that stone. Just sits on top of the 12-foot there. Definitely some deep thought going to come into this next shot. This will be the first skip stone for Stevens Point. Looks like he's thinking about something big. Probably try to double off these reds that are staggered and roll the shooter to his left towards the other yellow. That would hopefully expose the shot rock to give him a way in or a way to make a run at it at the end. Big weight. Right on the center line. It's a good sweep holding it. It is nose. It did touch the shot rock and move it out. It got the double. And it is biting. So Castleton calling their timeout here. It's really just to think about what they do next. They are flying second shot after that one. That was a pretty nice roll for the yellow underneath to kick out the red rock that was previously shot. Certainly really thinking about it here. I don't know. Thinking the preference is to draw. If you're in there and you're at least first shot and third shot, then it's something that Stevens Point needs to deal with. But you don't want to leave a double. If you leave it high, there's a chance they could make a double. You only need 2 to tie. Suppose I should say that Castleton is red and Stevens Point, currently behind by 2, is yellow. You've got Coach Mooney out there giving them some advice about where to put this rock. I think they've all agreed that the draw is the call. It's just a matter of where does it go? Okay. I think that they've decided to draw and put it back 4 foot. By putting it back 4 foot, it makes Stevens Point have to decide how to play a run back double in order to eliminate both reds. Potentially there's support there to play a regular double. It's a little tight. I will say the port on the TV monitor looks a lot bigger than it seems in person between the 2 yellows on the top 12 foot. I'm sure you can fit a rock through there, but it's pretty tight. So big draw here from Remy. This weight seems pretty good, but they are sweeping this really, really hard. Really, really hard. Both Jess and Tanner are working the stone really hard, trying to get it in there. It really needs to be okay. And now Stevens Point will, as expected, take their timeout. Really talk this one over. It's pretty quick ice here. Well, how do you score 2 here? You know, you could shoot the gap, but then you need the shooter to stick around. You could run this one on the left side back. You could also potentially run the red that they just threw into the yellow, into the other red, and blast them all, and you've got enough counters left over. I think I kind of like, based on his weight, yeah, I like this call that he's looking at, this half rock triple. Hit the outside of the red one on the top of the house as you see it on the TV. And that would run into the yellow and then into the other red. Doesn't matter if even the shooter or the yellow that's already in there stick around. They'd score 2 with 2 in the top 12. If the shooter sticks around, you win the game. So certainly nothing easy. They're all hits. They're all big weight. And you got to score 2. I think based on the way this Stevens Point skip's been throwing hits, I think he's lined up for this triple. He likes this triple. That's where his mind went initially. I don't think the team's going to be able to convince him otherwise. And just half rock hit it. I would dare to say that's probably the easiest of the options that are out there. They're still talking it over. I think the way he throws the high hard one is the way to go. He's pretty good on broom, and he's got the weight. Well, thanks to anybody who's still sticking with us. See 16 people still watching the stream that started on sheet 4, and we've ended up on sheet 2. There's the high. This is really heavyweight. That's really close. Oh, just hit it too square. And so with that, not sure who lies 1, but it doesn't matter in the end. Castleton's going to win this game. Again, both teams advancing in the championship bracket. Games will be at 7:30 p.m. tonight. Matchups and seeding will be all determined in the next hour or so and put out there to the public online on the USA Curling website, and probably shared on our Facebook page with the club. So thanks for joining, and we'll get back to you later. Next draw is at 4 o'clock in the consolation